Well, hello, welcome. It's Tuesday night. It feels weird actually to be getting on live. It feels like I'm getting on early because it's still light out and, now it's staying lighter later. It'll still be light, I think, when we get off of live tonight. So hopefully everyone is hopping on here to join me for Let's Taco About It, which is a fun Tuesday live that I do when we have 5 Tuesdays in a month. And I'll be introducing my special guest here in just a couple minutes. As a reminder, there is an in the feed drawing tonight, so you just want to make sure you comment and like this live, and your name will be entered to win 10 CM credits that you can use on Scrappy supplies. So it is an in the feed drawing. You do have to be present to win, so hang out, sit back, relax, grab a beverage, and learn something fun. All right, so this is last call for the Lakeland retreat. That registration will shut down. I do just have a couple seats left, but registration will shut down next Tuesday, and because the room block will be closing, so you'll want to make sure you are registered if you plan to go. And like I said, we do have a couple seats left, so I hope you will join us. This is a fan favorite. Actually, it might be our guest tonight's favorite. I think she said she had the best steak and potatoes ever of her life at this hotel. I don't know if the chef is the same. You know how chefs, they don't stick around, but we always have a great time no matter what, wherever we are. Then this summer, we have back-to-back retreats in Brevard, North Carolina, from a Sunday to a Thursday. We're going to go visit the White Squirrels. And then Helen, Georgia, from Thursday to Sunday. So a few seats left at both of those. Love to have you at either one of those. I'm super excited. There's a brunch place around the corner. Oh, there's so many yummy food places. And speaking of food places in Lakeland, and it's Let's Taco About It, one of my family's favorite places is Taco Bus, which is just around the corner from the hotel as well. They have giant tacos there. Virtual crop was last weekend, and we have a couple of ladies, actually 3, that did pages last weekend through Tuesday. So let me go ahead and do the drawing for that. I've got my wheel of names ready to go. Let's see who. It is. And looks like it's Deb. Congratulations, Deb. You do not need to be present to win if you're not on, but congratulations to Deb. She did all 4 of the sketches at the virtual crop, for the virtual crop last weekend. She and Lori and Casey all did pages. So congratulations, and thanks for playing, you guys. Second weekend of every month is the Creative Memories virtual crop, and I always sweeten the deal and give away some CM credits in addition to what Creative Memories gives away. All right, let's see. Okay, registration is closed for National Scrapbook Day. It's time for me to prep food, move tables. I'll be starting to move tables tomorrow. So Brendan already took the seats out of my minivan and put 6 tables from my house in. I'm going to drop those off tomorrow and go pick up 20 other 6-foot tables that I rented. So we are going to have a full house, and I will be spending the next few days getting totally ready for you guys, shopping the food and all the things. So looking forward to seeing everyone who registered. If you missed it, I would love for you to join us on Sunday. Sunday is on Zoom, completely on Zoom, 2 to 6. So just afternoon Zoom, and hang out with your Scrappy friends. if you either can't make it Friday or Saturday or you're out of town. Secret box. Tonight is the last chance to order one through my website, DaytonaAreaScrapbooking.com, not the Creative Memories website. You can get it on the Creative Memories website for 10% off until May 10th. But this is your last chance to order if you want to pick it up at National Scrapbook Day and participate in the super secret box opening. So if you had it shipped straight to your house, or if you're an advisor and you're coming, bring your unopened box and we will open those together early. So tonight is the last night to order that and have free shipping and pick it up at NSD. All right, next Tuesday night, these are the cards that we'll be making. I just finished packing them up today, so they are ready to ship. In fact, those of you on subscription out of state, you probably got your shipping email already today. Everybody else, I'll bring it to National Scrapbook Day. It is the, I did use things from the National Scrapbook Day supplies. So it definitely goes with our theme this weekend. And those of you that, that you're not on subscription, you'll be able to pick up one of the card kits I made some extra to sell this weekend so that you can join us next Tuesday night. All right, project recipes in a couple weeks. This is the project recipe we will be doing. As a reminder, I already used this tent border maker cartridge, so I'll be using a different one. You know how I love to switch up the paper and the tools in the project recipes so that you can see all the different ways that you can use the project recipes. So all you need to do to get that project recipe is RSVP for the event at DaytonaAreaScrapbooking.com. It's completely free, but you'll get a link to the PDF. You'll just copy and paste that link into your browser and get that PDF. Hello, Linda and Shelby. And as a reminder, if you're watching, make sure you comment, say hey in the comments, so you are entered to win tonight. And because it's Let's Taco About It, we're going to bring in our special guest here soon. You'll want to text your Scrappy friends and make sure that they hop on here to see one of their Scrappy friends here. Tell us all about her Scrappy process. All right. Go Gray in May is almost full, 91% full. So just a couple tables left, which means last I checked, there was just one full table for Friday, Saturday left, and then a couple half tables. So if you haven't registered, and what I did, when you go to cannonballs.org, or if you go to DaytonaAreaScrapbooking.org or .com and you go ahead to the Go Gray in May event, when you go there now via the link, it goes to the Cannonballs website, and you will see I've now added a link to a PDF with the current registration. So you can see if you've already registered, because it won't show up in your Daytona Area Scrapbooking account. And that's freaking people out because they're thinking they're not registered. So that way you can tell if you are registered already. But we are last few tables. All right, many things. If you are watching or subscribed to me on YouTube, it's a great way for you to catch up on past videos. And I appreciate everyone who has subscribed. Yes. All right. And as a reminder, if you haven't said hello, make sure to do that so that you are entered into the drawing tonight. All right. Well, it's time to introduce our special guest for tonight. She works full-time, does amazing scrapbook pages, has completed many books, and she, like I said, she works full-time and does all that while taking care of her family. So I know there's a certain misconception that you have to be retired to scrapbook, and so she is proof that you don't have to be retired to complete albums. In fact, we all know a couple of retired people that are busier than when they worked. Yes, she should write a book. All right, so let us bring on here She is known, around our crops as 2N Jen or Gen G. And welcome, Jen, to Let's Taco About It.
Hi, guys. I'm so excited to be a taco person, finally. It feels like an honor. It's my year. Queen of the
Yes,
crops,
it
and let's talk
is.
about it. I can't handle it.
That's true. I forgot that on my little sheet here, I forgot to mention that Jen is the reigning Queen of the Crops. So
Got
yeah, you should have your crown on. She put in for that to win that at my open house, and so we crowned her at our Jumpstart January event. And yes, she has been trying for many, many years to win Queen of the Crops. You finally did it. So
It's worth it. It's worth all your tickets. Put them in the share.
yeah, are you going to try to go for the back-to-back?
No, I'll let someone else take the crown. I forgot my crown, Stacy. I know.
We need to get everybody. We need to get all of our other scrappy friends on here hanging out with us. But let's first. I want to start with, how do you spend your day? Draw us a picture of your day.
Like a normal day, like a
Yeah,
weekday.
a normal day.
Okay. Well, I'm actually really fortunate because I work remotely. I work for a company that's in Minnesota, and this is going to be something I try to maintain for the rest of my career because it's awesome. They have Central Time, so I have a pretty leisurely morning. I usually wake up around 6:30, because when you have a high schooler, they train you to wake up super early because they go to school so early, it's painful. And he gets up later than me now because he goes later now. But anyway, I kind of putz around and probably look at my phone for too long, read the news. And then I get up, and some days I take a shower, some days I don't. Depends on if it's a hair day. And then I walk upstairs with my tea and my water, and I start working right where you're seeing me sit right now. So my scrapbook room is also my office, which I kind of don't like because I always liked having my scrapbook stuff separate so that you go into that zone. But we've run out of rooms, so we have to make do with what we have. Yeah. So then I work from 9 to 5. I don't stop. Like, I have a 15-minute break because I'm in meetings all day, which is horrible. But it is what it is. I escape to grab lunch and come right back upstairs with lunch. And my husband, who's my coworker, because he also works from home, Tim, yells at me that I need to make them let me have a lunch and demand a lunch. But I don't like taking one because I can stop working at 5, right? Like, and I do take a break to walk the puppy. But yeah, I kind of like having more of my time, which is why remote work is so awesome, because you're not wasting time driving. And you would think I would spend more time scrapbooking, but I don't. Like, I should have a day where I scrapbook every day, but I really get most of my scrapbooking done at the retreats, to tell you the truth. And the crops.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, obviously you're Queen of the Crops and you wanted to be, so you do make an effort. And I should say, you live like 40 minutes or 40 minutes to an hour from where I do my day crops, the 2 locations. And and then reading Casey's comment.
Me too.
And then but then you also come to retreats, and I was going to get to that. So you also promoted to Yellow Diamond this year, which means you've attended 20 of my retreats. So you are a memory maniac with Yellow Diamond status. And I feel like, and this is my personal opinion, that no matter where people are in their life, retired or working or whatever, the retreats and the crops are so important to get things done. And you obviously feel that way too.
Yeah, and actually Casey and Wanda will tell you I'm kind of horribly focused. Like, of the 3 of us, I think I want to scrapbook the most. Wanda wants to go shopping.
Or see a movie.
Chill, right? See a movie, do something, right? Casey talks like to everybody, right? And I sit there and I work away. I've gotten better. I started talking to more people, but I used to like come and do as many pages as possible and leave. But now you make friendships after all these years. It's been a really nice way to meet people and get to know people. And you spend a lot of time talking. That you should be scrapbooking if you really want to get. I always have a goal, right? So, like for example, I have to order pictures for the next. I guess it'll be Lakeland, right? Is the next retreat because my son is going to be a senior next year, which means I got to get on the stick for his high school scrapbook because I've scrapbooked every year of his life. But I stopped with high school because there's not as much stuff going on with high school, right? Like when your kid's little, they're doing everything and going to birthday parties and you have everything going on, like all the things. But then they hit high school and it's like, you don't see them as much. You don't go to as many things. So I kind of stopped.
They're still doing this stuff, but you have to like take screenshots on their social media and stuff because you're not at the events.
I will say my son is really good. Owen does send me pictures of almost every event that he does that I'm not present for. It's not like 5 pictures, but he sends me at least 1 picture and he doesn't complain about it. He's a good little boy. But yeah, and his friends are funny now too, because I always make them let me take at least 1 picture and they all just like accept it and stand there for the 1 picture and then, go on their merry way. So I have stuff, just not a lot, right? So I gotta put that all together and get it to like where all I have left is senior year because I know I won't have time to do all the freshman, sophomore, junior stuff. So like that's my next big project is Owen's senior book or high school book.
I mean, you've got all those little, it's probably good that you just have these one-offs because you can do a few 2-page spreads of freshman year and a few 2-page spreads and then have it be mostly senior year. By the way, now you've already just said that your son's going to be a senior talking about that album. So everyone is like, oh my goodness, she's caught up. Seriously. She's not 20 years behind.
Not on him, but on our life I am. So I'm currently in 2013 for family books. So should I tell you my whole crazy process?
Tell us your scrappy process.
All right. So Owen got a book for every year of his life. And I'm not kidding. Like his first year is like year 0 and then up to year 6 and then it transitions to kindergarten and all those grades, right? And I kept current with him. But for our life, for our family, so I do his book and then I have our family books. So for every year of life, I started back at Creative Memories in 2000. This is before I met Tara. One of my old sorority sisters was a creative memory consultant and I was recently divorced. So I needed stuff to do, right? Like when you divorce, you need to go do stuff because you're used to doing stuff with, the person. So I rekindled a friendship with a sorority sister and she was doing Creative Memories and she'd have crops at her house. So I started at 2000 again, even though a long time ago I used to scrap with my sisters. And I don't know where that stuff went.
Okay, so wait, scrapbooking started. Wait, let me just pause right there. So you used to scrapbook with your sisters. Like, how old were you when you started scrapbooking?
Maybe it was with them let me correct. I started scrapbooking in 2000 because I got back with my sorority sister and then my sisters and I would get together and scrapbook. Like they were into it because my nephews were young, like babies. So they were doing like the baby books and I was doing the like, what the heck is this person going to do with their life books? I don't know. It was a weird time, right? And then I just kept it up from there and they don't scrapbook anymore, which is funny, right? Like they don't do it at all anymore and I'm the one who kept up with it.
In fact, you did a scrapbook for one of your sisters.
Right? I did. Well, I didn't. Well, I gave her one to do her my sister had a baby boy like 3 years ago. And I did a book for her that she could just put the pictures in. Like I used Creative Memory project recipes, which is like, as Tara knows, like one of my favorite things in the world. I used to try to come up with the layouts, but it just goes so much faster when I follow either recipe or one of the layouts in the book, you know, the 101 sketches book. Those saved me. So I used that to create a book for her where she could just stick the pictures in. And I gave it to her, well, and my nephew for his first birthday. And she kind of was like poo-pooed it, like, because it wasn't like a toy or something for Hyder, my nephew. And I was like, well, then that took me a lot of time to put together, and it took away from my own little system, right? But she later like appreciated it because she realized she was never gonna have time. Like she only had time to do the pictures. So she did. She put the pictures in, and now I'm in real trouble. So this is another project that's due. She had two girls. She had twins last what was it, August? I should know this. I'm a terrible aunt. Yeah, the end of August. So in August, I have to come with 2 books. Like now I'm going to have to do the same thing for my new nieces. Because I did it for the nephew. So now I'm going to have to do that too.
Did you add that to your to-do list for the next couple of crops?
And that's going to, like, then do you do 2 books or do you do 1?
They are 2 people.
I know, right? Like you have to do 2.
But you could just do it the same. So maybe it'll go a little faster.
I was thinking of like asking her to take pictures for me so I could remember what layouts I did, right? Like, or I'm going to be up there. That's what I'll do. I'll do that when I go up for my nephew's wedding.
Yeah. Or note to self, next time you give a book,
just keep it in pictures.
Keep a journal of the whole book so you can recreate it.
We didn't really expect her to have more babies, especially not 2 at the same time. So in my defense, that was a big surprise. But yeah, so I have to do that and Owen's book. And then what I also do now is like, because it was getting crazy. So I don't know about you guys who do the paper books. Like you digital folks kind of got smart because the books are very compact and you can do as many pages as you want, right? But the paper books get too big. So a lot of my years have turned into 2 books because too much stuff has gone on. And then if there's like a special occasion in there, you can't throw the whole occasion in there. So this recently hit me with the same sister's wedding from 10 years ago. So she got married in 2012. I had to make a decision, like try to do 3 books or like break out. So I created a book just for her bridal shower and wedding because there were so many pictures. And then in my yearbook, I have 1 double page spread because I do chronological where that event happened for just, you know, to know that it happened in that year. Right.
Yeah.
So it's like a reference point. Yeah. So I'm going to do.
Please see the larger album for complete.
Exactly. You have to make a little note, right?
For complete story and all photos.
Yeah. So like I'm starting to do that for big trips too, right? Because you can't, like we went to Alaska a couple summers ago. I already got the Alaska book that I'm sure like Linda got and Debbie got because all of us in Subi, we all went to Alaska the same summer.
Yeah.
And then they came out with this great Alaska book. In fact, I have 2. So here's another problem with Jen. I have 2 of those books because I historically buy 2 of the same thing many, many times, as Tara can tell you. I buy like the same Bordermaker cartridge twice. I do a lot of double, this is where I don't have time. Like when I shop, I sometimes buy the wrong thing or too many of the same thing. So yeah, I have a book for that. And then we have a trip to Italy. So I might take a break from the years and do some of those trips before I forget all the details, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's hard to.
Yeah. I mean, and I think we've talked about this before on Let's Talk About It. So I think everyone kind of feels this way, but when you're far behind, like you're 10 years behind in your family book, sometimes you're just more excited instead of just doing what you did on a Thursday night 10 years ago, you know, when the kids were little versus like, oh, the trip you took to Italy recently, you know, then you want to, not only is it great to get the details down while they're fresh because we're not getting any younger, but it's also just you're more excited about it. You know, like you said, you have all Creative Memories came out with all this Alaska stuff because apparently everyone in the United States went on an Alaskan cruise, and so their timing is impeccable. And
it's really good timing.
So now you got all the things, and you're excited to put that book together.
Yeah. So if I didn't have my assignments for this year between Owen graduating and the babies, then I would probably shift to doing one of our more recent vacations for that exact reason. Plus, just like, I don't know about you guys, but I love reliving it through the pictures, right? Like, part of the fun for me with the scrapbooking is it takes you back to the time and place. And I guess that's just kind of soothing. Like, life is pretty stressful. So when we get away for these retreats or for cropping, it kind of takes you out of the day-to-day element. And then you add in a nice dose of serotonin of like, oh, we were so happy and we had so much fun, right? Day-to-day isn't terrible. I'm pretty lucky, but it's not always exciting, like you said, Tara, right? So part of the scrapbooking for me, I guess, is like meditation or therapy or something. It's definitely therapy. All the people I talk to will tell you that, because I got to get out all my stuff at the scrapbooking retreats too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's community. It's, it's like, it's a shirt. We have a shirt from years ago. It says, I don't need therapy. I just need a scrapbook.
Very true.
Okay. So wait, tell us so you develop your pictures, because I know that you're a big power layout girl. And some of the ladies at St. Simon's got to see that in action. But so tell everyone your process. So you print your pictures, and then what?
All right, I brought some props. All right.
Oh, okay.
So I use all the creative memory things, right? So I print my pictures, and then I use the little sort box, right, to put them all in order first. And then I do that by, like, again, I'm chronological. So I don't know if you can see, but like this is 2013, and I go through, because I'm not always so good at organizing my pictures with dates. Like, I go through and figure out the order, and you can see I mess it up. So, because I've got arrows and stuff going to where things belong. So I get everything in order. I get the pictures in order to know what I have, right? And what events I'm going to capture for the year. And then I take those pictures now, and this is how I prepare for the retreats, right? I look at like the things, like, is there a Halloween? Is there a Christmas? Like the next that I'm going to do. And I grab the papers that I want to use for those things. And I have, the old bag for paper. I don't know if you know, it's like flat like that. I have it back there. So I fill that up. And then I bring my power sort box if it's empty. Otherwise, if it's full, I just bring it, right? And I use my handy dandy list and my pictures to sort out, all those events with the paper that I picked. Tara's like really ambitious and gets like a project recipe to throw in there. I'm not that good. Like, I don't make it that far. I would love, like, my plan for the cruise in January. God, there's going to be a lot to do. I better get on the stick. Like, I'm hoping to do, like, just bring a power sort box and have printed all the Cricut stuff and have everything. So I'm really just putting the pages together, because I can't wrap my head around bringing all the stuff on the cruise. I can't get there yet. So we'll see if that happens. But I typically don't do all the extra stuff. I bring my little Cricut Joy with me to cut the lettering and stuff like that. And then the great thing about the Joy is you can also do the pens. So as a classically bad handwriting person, which, Casey with her perfect handwriting can tell you can't read. Like, if I write you a card, you're going to have me decipher it for you. It just doesn't work for me. Now I use the Cricut to print my journals, which, like, was life-changing, honestly, for me, because I would do less journaling because it's just no point. It's so messy, right? Like, so now it's nice and clean. And I'm happy. So I do that. So now I used to put all the pages together and do the journaling and the titling later. Now I force myself to do the whole page, because, and you can't see this because my books are in the other room, I have about 10 albums with the spine off of them because they're not officially done. They either need journaling or they're missing a title, or they're missing a front page or a back page. For some reason, the front and back pages are always the hardest ones to do, right?
Yeah.
So I have another list in my little green book of all the things that I need to finish. So these are Owen's books that have stuff to finish. And then in my family books, I have a list of things to finish. So I also keep track of that because sometimes I just sit down and catch up, right? Like try to wrap up the books
Yeah.
that didn't get wrapped up for one reason or another. And I bought a second Power Sword box after St. Simon's, Tara, because I was kind of mad that I couldn't just
Keep
get
going.
the whole thing together, right? Like I could only get so far. So I'm pretty excited to now have 2 Power Sword boxes.
And if you're going to be that prepared, like for the cruise, as far as like cricket sweaters and stuff like that, you might want to try to fill 2.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but then I'm also remembering I'm rooming with Wanda and we're not going to be in that room.
Yeah,
right? Like
you're going to be at a show or 2.
Wanda's already trying to plan the excursions. So like we're going to be there like we'll be definitely in the ranking for the people who are in the room least award or whatever you guys do. I've never been on the cruise, so I'm pretty excited, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be great. So do you know about how many books you have now? I know you can't see your shelf, but I know which books are green? Are those Owens or the family ones?
Those are Owens.
Okay,
Owens
so
shades
all
of
of
green.
them are green.
Yeah. And now they're different shades. But I did, Tara, I did find like the one of the color I needed.
Yeah.
So I got all of his K through 8 into one color. All of his baby, like 0 to 6, was like a dark green. Then the bright green was K through 8, and now I have like another shade for that high school year. So nice. I was pretty excited. So I worked that out.
So how many albums do you think you've made?
I made a little list because I was.
I mean, and count the ones that you're just missing, like a title.
Oh, I am. I am counting. Yeah. I'm counting them all. If they're like put together and they just have little things that have to be done, I count them as done. So I think I have at least 25.
Wow, that's great.
I know. And then I don't know if you guys remember when Creative Memories was going to go under or whatever year that was. I was terrified that they wouldn't have the book cloth albums ever again, even though Tara was like, Jen, calm down. I think it's going to be okay. I did not listen to my faithful advisor. And I bought like 20, like I tried to count out the amount of years I would need in case they never brought the books back. Yeah. And I bought pages, covers, and books to take me through retirement.
Yeah.
Well, my counting sucked because I do have all my albums like that aren't used yet. I'm down to 5. I'm down to 5 black albums, Tara.
Wow.
So I've
those
done
are
a
the
total.
family?
Yeah, those are the family. Black is family. So I think I have 25 that I've done so far.
And that doesn't
maybe
even
26.
You're not even counting all the gift ones in that.
No. I've only really done that one gift one.
So do you have
and I don't have time.
Do you have a favorite
album?
Yeah. I mean, I know they're mostly chronological, so maybe it's hard, but like, or maybe it's yet to be done. Maybe it's going to be Alaska or Italy.
It will probably be, to tell you the truth, like we did a road trip down California last summer, and it was just really great for a lot of different reasons. We saw all the different climates of California. Owen was forced to be in a car with us and actually speak to us for several days. I mean, his face was in his phone a lot, but having that focused time for it was a long trip too, because we wrapped it around a work trip that I had to be out there for anyway. So it was like 12 days. And then it was just beautiful. Like it just changed. Like we did so many different things. So that one will probably, I'll predict it'll probably end up being my favorite. But I'd say right now, I do go back to one of my books is a Disney book, because when Owen was little, that's all we did for vacation, because we always rationalized that you could stay at the resorts because you weren't paying for flights and things that you would if you traveled. And I applaud all the people who take their babies on planes, but I was not that kind of mom. Like I had no desire to schlep all the stuff and be exhausted by the time I got there. So pretty much for like the first years of Owen's life, from 18 months on, we did Disney. And so that's an example of, instead of doing, like, I just do a 2-page spread in the year, I have a book of all the Disney vacations, like, together. So, like, every time we stayed. And then we did a couple Disney cruises too. So I've those 2 Disney books. And I guess I have to just admit that I'm pretty much a Disney adult. Like, Owen and Tim won't go anymore, and it makes me sad. But I love Disney, and,
Yeah, me
uh,
too.
you know, I do go back to those a lot because it is kind of a quick way to, like, see the Owen progression too. Like, instead of
Yeah.
pulling down the 20 albums devoted to his life already, or however many there is so far, 8 plus 6, 14, 14. Yeah, because those take a lot more time to be committed to, but, the Disney one kinda shows him growing up in that context. Um, and if I took
Those
it out right now, I'd start crying. Kidding. So, he got his first job today.
Oh,
My just turned 17-year-old got his first job today.
aw,
So
congratulations. I have a Christmas album where I just do a page each year of like the tree and like our family
nice.
group photo and a couple other pictures. And it is really fun to like start at like 0 and then just with the flip of a page, everyone just is aging. The kids are growing. So it is fun. Those I find those are also like easier ish books to keep up with because you're just you know adding in one page a year. So that'd be
Yeah.
something that maybe somebody's watching and maybe they don't have a completed, but I mean that's the thing, it's not completed because it's like a many year project. But those are fun books like for people that do things like annually, if they take the same trip annually, or like it's like a holiday, like like I just said for Christmas, or um like you did for Disney. So yeah, maybe we'll give somebody an idea to do that, because then you're just adding like a couple pages a year, and then you're like, oh, that book's caught up. Put it on the shelf. Check that off the to-do list. Move on
That's
to
a
the
really good idea. I don't
next.
know, do you do Tara the Christmas card book too? Like, do you do,
Um,
like, the photo cards you get every year into
I
a book?
don't, but I like one of the I know several people who do.
Yeah.
And it's funny because now, not funny, but with Facebook, you like back, I don't know, 20 years ago, people used to send a lot more than they do now. Because a lot of times I see now, like people will post their family picture or whatever their card would have been on Facebook, and they're like, "Here's your card," like you're not getting it in the mail anymore. So the amount of Christmas cards we get in the mail has gone down considerably over the years.
It's true, but I have, like, a good collection of people who are holding on tight to the tradition,
Yeah.
which is good. Like, it makes me happy. So, like, a solid 10 to 20 a year, right? Like, you have to participate to get
Oh
too.
yeah.
Like, you have to realize, like, people take you off if you don't play the game, right?
Yep.
But to Casey's point, she gives me credit for being a good writer on one piece of writing every year alone, which I do. Like, I'm one of the annoying people who do the Christmas newsletter,
Mhm.
right? It's really funny. I just saw Jagged Little Pill, which is a play set
Yeah.
to Alanis Morissette music. And there's a joke in there about like the annoying, like she starts off the play with like writing her Christmas letter and how great life is, right? And then it turns out life's not so great. It's actually a very depressing play. I won't recommend it if you're down. Don't go see the show because I don't know what I thought a play called Jagged Little Pill would be, but yeah, it was really depressing and horrible. But it has an upbeat lift at the end, but they rag on people for writing Christmas newsletters. and the people I were with this all looked at me because I'm the newsletter writer, right? So I do the Christmas one too, but I'm way behind on that as well. I think I'm about 10 years behind. I've got everything keyed up to do. But that's also good because I save the newsletters my own, and I'm vain enough. I put our Christmas card in there too. So like I have every year of our Christmas card too. and that is nice. Like you're saying, like,
Yeah.
again, the quick progression. And it's kind of like bittersweet because like there's people from, 2000 that I don't see anymore. I don't know what's even up with them. Like people come in and out
Yeah.
of your life.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice to have captured that, oh yeah, for that period of time we were really good friends and
Yeah. We
hung out, but
exchanged
good enough to exchange cards,
Christmas.
right? But I think that's normal in life, right? Like, some people are there forever, and then some people are, friends for time. And it's nice to revisit those friendships
Yeah.
through that as well. Yeah. But
Do you scrapbook retreats?
I haven't started yet, but I feel it coming. I really do. I'm not up. Like, so we did, oh, where is it? I think I have it in here. So another thing I do is I've saved all of Tara's, there they are. I've saved all the
all your seat things?
cards, right? But one night late, and I'm pretty sure Tara wanted to kill me. I made her step me through. I kept my notes. I made her step me through of when I actually started like scrapbooking with her, because Wanda was an advisor, and Casey brought me to Wanda, right? Like, so my route into this crazy crew was Casey, who we literally worked together 11 months. That's it was a very short working relationship. And then Casey took me to scrapbook with Wanda. And then Wanda gave it up, and we ended up at Something for Tara. So I made Tara take me through the years. And I don't think my first scrapbook is ACA in 2012, and I don't think I had pictures. So technically I would have started last year, but I don't think I always avoided the picture too. Like I never did the group picture. I didn't like being in the group picture. So I think this is the year, Tara. I think this is the year where scrapbooking retreats come in.
You finally caught up.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So I will start, because we go such cool places now too, right? You take a ton of pictures.
Yeah.
And face it, the scrapbooks are for me. I don't know what the men in my life are going to do with these scrapbooks when I'm gone, because while they do look at them, I don't perceive them like holding on to them if I'm not here anymore, right? Maybe Owen's future spouse will.
I think they will.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just took out where it was April's birthday last night, and she turned 25, and so we were talking about like earliest memories and different things, everybody. And so then I was like, oh well, do you remember my 25th? And she was like, oh yeah, I was there. And I was like, yeah, you were at my 25th, but she was only 2.5.
Oh,
So she did not remember my 25th, but I went to the album and opened, and so we just, Brendan, April, and I just were enjoying the album from that time period, and just thinking, oh, it's so crazy. She just turned 25, and at 25 we had a 6-month-old and a 2.5-year-old, and
that is crazy.
how different.
Do you feel like your kids remember more of their memories because of the scrapbooks? Like,
yeah, we were
because they saw the pictures.
Yeah, we were talking about that at dinner, because I remember a long time ago that kind of thing always fascinates me. I remember seeing an Alan Alda special, and it was on the Brain, and they took people and they had them witness a picnic. And at this picnic, they were doing things at the picnic, blowing bubbles and playing catch and eating and just doing different things. And then the next day, they brought them back into a room, and they showed them pictures from the picnic. Some of the things they actually saw, some of them they didn't actually see, but the actors that they were watching were dressed the same. So then it was really hard for them. Like, did I really see that? Or does it just like they look familiar or whatever? But they had, electrodes on their brain and stuff because they saw the pictures, and I think I brought them back a second day, and then they watched which part of their brain lit up when they looked at the pictures. Like a different part lit up when they actually like saw it. versus just
Oh,
the picture. And I was like,
just having
well,
some kind of recognition.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, well, why don't they do that in court? Like that would solve so many like false identifications. Like, well, your brain says you didn't actually see that person, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but so we were talking about that around the dinner table on Sunday night when my son and daughter-in-law were there too, and we were saying like, what's your earliest memory? And then we were saying, because of the scrapbooks, like, do you think it's because you saw that page and that picture so many times in the scrapbook, or is that something you actually remember?
Actually remember.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's
I think it's hard to say for them, right? Because
mhm.
like I don't know about you, like I have 7 brothers and sisters for those of you who don't know, and I'm number 7 of 8. And I'm late. So the first 6 came first and then I came 7 years later. Well, they have very few pictures of themselves, right? Like as kids came along, you got more pictures. So in the grand scheme of things, like I had a lot more pictures than my older siblings, and then my little sister obviously had even more because she was 8 years later, right? So like I wonder like if I remember things like because I had the picture, right? Like
Mhm.
versus my siblings really don't their memories don't start as early because there was like no picture of it,
Yeah.
right? So I think it did make a difference, especially because I was born in California and I lived there for 5 years before my parents moved, right? I really don't have any memory. Like I can say for sure I have like one memory of kindergarten, like saying the Pledge of Allegiance of all things. Like I remember saying them, like that is like one core memory that I know there isn't a picture of it, right? But I remember like what our house looked like, and I remember its layout, and I remember my friends on the street from the pictures my parents had of that time,
Yeah.
right? Like there's no like I don't remember it. I remember the picture that I saw of it more,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah.
Well, I
So
mean, I think that speaks to how powerful photos are and our scrapbooks in general. And at the beginning of the last 2 years, I've done a God Moments Bible study or book study, and it's kind of like that because you're documenting specific, moments in your life that maybe you had forgotten, but it just seeing the picture and documenting the story is we know because we're scrapbookers and probably everyone watching tonight is a scrapbooker, and so they we're all at some of us are on book number 1, some of us are on book number 26, but I think we all stick with it because we know not only is it the community fun, the act of doing the scrapbooking, right? It's a craft, it's cathartic, it's all those things, but it's also community, and then hopefully it's a finished product eventually. um
I'll tell you one of my scrapbook dreams. I know we probably have to wrap up soon, but I just told him. So Owen went to a K through 8 elementary and middle school, and he just hit the jackpot. Like the families from that year were all very close. There were only like 2 classes for each year until like 4th grade, and then the third class of kids that came in, all good parents, like no duds, right? So I was telling the moms who I hang out with quite a lot, still, even though our kids have kind of like pieced out on each other, to tell you the truth, they've gone and made new friends and friend groups and gone to different high schools. That I'm going to have everyone over and just have all the scrapbooks out, because I not only scrapbooked Owen's life, I scrapbooked most of their children's lives
yeah,
too, right? Because their
yeah,
kids were always there at
yeah,
these events. So like they would get a lot of joy, I think, as we're all going to be like crying into our kerchief this entire year as our kids wrap this, fun thing up. I think that I really will just get so much joy out of them seeing it, right?
right,
Because there is something different about it all put on a page,
yeah,
like, and then like going through pictures on Facebook, or, you know, like, I think there is something a little different when you see it all put together. So I plan to have his school is called Galileo, and I call them the Galileo Moms, a Galileo Moms happy hour, just to look at my scrapbooks. I'm not sure everyone will enjoy that, but I will.
Well, I hope you take pictures of that event
I
and
will.
share it with us, because yes.
Yeah.
And there's going to be lots of people taking pictures of the scrapbooks, because that's what even happened last night. April was taking pictures of the pages. These are, books on the shelf, and she's looked at them a million times, but just having it right there, a picture of her and her brother, a picture of her and her cousin, or the journaling or whatever. So
I do have an irrational fear of losing the scrapbooks during a hurricane. Like, I have a whole strategy for hurricanes in my scrapbooks. They go into the plastic bins first.
Yeah.
But I have thought that maybe I should, how people do the finished book video on the Creative Memory site.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I should do a finished book for each book, just in case, right? Like that's one of the benefits of you digital folks, right? Is you still have it in digital format, right? That's forever. But if the paper goes,
right.
It's gone. So,
well, and that's one of the things that Forever, the company, that does Artisan, that they'll do. Like, you can actually mail them the pages, and they scan the paper books.
really?
High resolution. So then you could theoretically print them as digital books, or at least just have a high resolution backed up, version. And I mean, it's not cheap, because you think about it, like a scan. I feel like the scan, and there's some people that have a ton of them to do. I've heard stories where they just buy a scanner that can accommodate a 12 by 12 book. But for most people, I always say, listen, if you don't want to invest that type of money and buy a scanner or do it, like, put that album into some nice natural light, like buy a window on the couch, whatever, so there's no glare, and take pictures with your cell phone, so that you or flip through it, like you said. Sometimes with the
Just to have it.
pictures,
Yeah.
and that way, if you have to do it over again,
I should have done that.
I'm
going to do that when I go up for my nephew's wedding in July. So,
well, one other thing, because we're going to do our drawing here, but one other thing I wanted to say was, so last year you did a thing. You became an advisor yourself.
Oh, I did.
We haven't talked about that. So you are a Creative Memories advisor. So what made you decide to do that?
I'm my best customer, because I certainly don't have time to do what Tara does and get a following. Although I have threatened to come up with Sanford area scrapbooking and just be a little offshoot, right? And I've tried, I've talked to people, but you are my scrapbooking people. Like, other people I hang out with don't have time, or would never do it, right? It made sense to me because I buy quite a lot of scrapbooking supplies throughout the year. So I did the math, and with the discount itself that you get from being an advisor, I won't share the actual numbers, because if my husband hears them out loud, he might murder me. But I did spend quite a lot of money last year as my best customer. But I also got a good percentage of that money back because of the advisor discount, kickback. I don't know what you call it, right?
Commission.
And there is a little part of me that I work because I like money, and I like to go to scrapbooking retreats and go on trips. But my work is only somewhat fulfilling. It's a lot of stress and dealing with people, and there's parts I don't like. So there is a little part of me that wishes I could be a Tara and do something maybe one day that, I love to do, and then share it with other people. Like, I imagine, Tara, you really, really love your job, right? Except for when we drive you crazy. But
tomorrow we have to make 3 trips to pick up 20 tables. But yeah, in general, I really do.
So I think that'd be
hard.
Yeah, I think it would be great to make your job out of something you love to do anyway, right? I mean, that would be great if maybe it's a thing I build up and I do when I'm older. I don't
Yeah.
know. But right now, I really appreciate my best customer, Jenn G.
Well, I wanted to bring that up too, because most people, that is why they become advisors. They do it, you know, for the discount, and then it eventually turns into something else, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it never is always that, and that's fine too. And so yeah, over the years, because I've been doing this for almost 24 years, you know, I have a variety of people that join me in the Creative Memories Sisterhood, and so it's fun.
Tara takes really good care of her downline as well. So there's some nice perks in being an advisor under Tara. I'll say that too. Like,
Oh,
she's super generous.
So that I'm glad that you are in the CM Sisterhood, and there's a couple others watching on here tonight. I don't know if they're still on, but they were. So yeah, it's a good time. Well, thanks so much, Jenn, for sharing your whole scrappy life with us. Does anyone else have any questions for Jenn before I do the drawing here, or while I do the drawing?
The chat to see if I don't think anybody had any questions. People are just talking. Thank you guys for all your support.
Oh, I forgot to choose it. Now we need to give it a second. It'll catch up. Well, oh, it usually does. I might have to do it on Wheel of Names. Oh no, here it goes. Okay. I knew it would finally catch up. Where am I? Show you warm.
I am super hot. I get what you feel now, right, Tara? Like sometimes you're like dripping sweat after these things. I don't know what it is, but like
I know
I'm hot.
Stacy, are you still on? Hopefully she's still on. Give her a second.
It's here at 7:36.
Stacy. Don't be shy.
I don't know that
Stacey,
anyone would ever describe Stacy as shy.
I don't know. All right, we'll give Stacy 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's draw again. I see your name going around, Jenn. You might win too.
I can't win. I can't. Okay, good. Yeah, that's good.
Becky, are you still on? You just said congratulations. Becky, are you still there? You were just there.
Oh, she didn't drop, did she? That'd be terrible.
She might have. Don't anyone leave. Don't anyone leave. Oh,
she
good.
got it. Yay.
You're here. Yes, Becky. You won. Okay. Congratulations, Becky. I will add that to your CM account, your CM credits. Congratulations. And thanks everyone for being on here tonight, for joining Jenn and I for Let's Taco About It. And appreciate all of our scrappy friends, our scrappy community, for being here. And of course, we look forward to seeing you this Friday and Saturday and Sunday at National Scrapbook Day at Westminster by the Sea Church in Daytona Beach. So thanks everyone again. And until we see you again, you know what to do. Stay scrappy, my
Scrappy.
friends. Bye.